What is up, my friends? We are back. We are live. We are where we belong, which is, of course, on YouTube. It is a real pleasure to be back with your good selves and appreciate you. I've already seen the impatient comments. I love it. People going, he's 1 minute late. Get used to it. I'm terrible for timekeeping, but we're here. We're live. We're back. And it feels good. It feels right. It feels like we've come to where we should be. So, to everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming and joining us. Really, really appreciate it. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button, especially if you want to comment, because it is subscriber-only chat, meaning hit the subscribe button and you're good to go. Right, let's get to it. There is a load to get through tonight. There's a couple of memberships I have to say thank you to as well before we get underway. Jen, thank you so much for subbing, Jen. Appreciate you, or for becoming a member, I should say. We've got some more ones. Josh, thank you as well, buddy, for becoming a member. Jen, twice, you greedy bitch. I love it, Jen. I love it. Yes, the memberships are flying in now, and I'm doing my best to keep up with them. So we've also got Connor612. You should have been 619, Connor. Come on, you're better than that. I love it. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. So, loads to get through. We're mainly going to focus on Jordan Henderson, as I like to call him these days, Hendocrit, because he is a bit of a damn hypocrite. But I want to know how you guys are feeling as well. I'm going to take a couple of minutes to ease my way back in because this is all new to me, my friends. It's strange, you know. I'm a creature of habit, so having the chat moving this quick is not something I'm used to. So I'm going to have to ease myself in. Bear with me as I get used to my surroundings. Why did you leave Twitch? Let's start with that one because it seems as good a question as any to kick us off. Honestly, it came down to a couple of things. So we've got a new member of Team Anfield Agenda behind the scenes. This person is an expert in all things YouTube, so it would be very naive of me, very foolish of me, to not make use of the person's talents and get them in there as well. So that's why, simple as that. The person that we've brought on board to help us out is a YouTube expert, and I'm here to make sure that he has the tools that he needs to make us as successful as possible. Adrian, thank you, buddy, for joining Anfield Agenda FC. Now, we should point out there are two different memberships on the channel. There is Anfield Agenda FC, which is €2.99 a month, and then there's Anfield Agenda Ultras, which is $5.99 a month, and I will take you through the differences between those two memberships momentarily. We've already got 1,000 people in the live chat. Wow. We had a conversation earlier on today, myself and the new member of the team, and I said, dude, what do you think is going to happen with tonight's live stream? What type of numbers are you expecting? 200 to 400 was the answer. I said, I think 700 to 800. And we've already hit 1,000. So, wow. I love it. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. So, let's get straight into it. Jordan Henderson. I know how my core group of audience on Twitch feel about the Henderson situation, but I want to know how you guys and girls out there feel about it. For me, look, I can't talk about Jordan Henderson without splitting it into two sides. Jordan Henderson, the football player, the servant to Liverpool Football Club, absolutely top-notch. I've nothing but good things to say about Jordan from that regard. Jordan Henderson, the hypocrite, well, that's broke my heart. I can't lie, it really has broke my heart. I understand people's viewpoints saying get your money, get paid, stuff like that. But he's our captain. He's our captain, and I really did hope it was a little bit better. He'd be a little bit better than that. But I guess maybe I'm just setting myself up for disappointment because I do hold these guys to really high standards. I do think very highly of them, as I'm sure you guys do. And I know that there are people who thought Jordan Henderson's best days were behind him. And I'm in that category, if I'm being honest with you. But he's been an exceptional leader of this football club, and to see him go from the stance that he had, you know, with the rainbow armband, the inclusivity of football, to just taking the money and running. I don't know. Look, we'll do good things with the money. I'm very certain of that. And from my understanding, I do think the deal to take Jordan Henderson to Saudi Arabia is inching along, and I think we'll see both himself and Fabinho ply their trades over there, and Liverpool, of course, need to reinvest that money. Carl, lovely to see you in as well. So many familiar names that I'm seeing back here tonight, my friends. Matthew Kelly, thank you for joining Anfield Agenda FC. Wrong Scrim, thank you for joining Anfield Agenda Ultras. So look, let me just tell you what the difference is between the two memberships before we get stuck in, and I forget, because I'm a ditzy SOB. So let me just take you through this, and then we will go from there. So much to go through tonight. I've got a big list of notes here. Right, so what we have is Anfield Agenda FC is $2.99. You get loyalty badges, you get emojis, and you get membership shout-outs. Anfield Agenda Ultras is $5.99. You get everything from the previous tier. You also get members-only polls, exclusive wallpapers, discounts on merchandise when we launch it, and of course, shout-outs as well. Oh God, that's a long name. Darwin New Coit, you'll never walk alone. Welcome to Anfield Agenda Ultras, my friend. I'm just going through to make sure I haven't missed anybody. Vinny O'Brien, welcome to Anfield Agenda Ultras. I've done that one. Old Devlin, welcome to Anfield Agenda Ultras to you, mate. Appreciate you. Wrong scrim, I've done that one as well. I forgot how fast the chat went. Mark, I'm looking at this and I'm just thinking, well, this isn't Twitch. This is a little bit different, right? And thank you to everyone that's saying welcome back as well. Welcome home, love it. That's what it feels like to me. This feels like home now. And I missed you all. And I'm delighted to be back here. And I hope that we're going to have a good season ahead together. Don't forget though, do hit that follow button. As you can see in the top corner, the subscribe button I should say. We are closing in on 180,000 members of our big old dysfunctional family here at Anfield Agenda. And I really do appreciate all of your support. Look, I speak for myself, Connor, and the rest of the team when I say that you guys have changed our lives. It isn't down to me. It isn't down to the work that we do. It's down to you guys and your support. So before we get underway, I want to say again, thank you. You all have done an amazing thing to me as a human being, and I love you for it, and I'll always want to repay you for that. So thank you so much. Connor the Red, thank you for joining Anfield Agenda FC, my man. Right, I'm going to read through some of the normal comments because that's what I do, right? Let's go, Craig, said Oren. Love it. Lovely to see you back in, Oren, as well. I'm having to slow down the chat. 2002 minutes. It's mad. It's mad. I keep thinking we're still little old us, you know, little old Anfield Agenda. But, man, you guys are changing my life, and I don't know. I owe you all a pint. Connor will buy them, though, because he's the one with the money. Mark gifting a sub as well. Thank you, Mark. Didn't realise you could do that. There you go. We love you, Craig, said Maddie. Thank you so much. How many midfielders do you think will sign in who? Said Noel. And thank you for that, Noel _ Sofer. So look, if we're taking it as a fact that Jordan Henderson and Fabinho are going to move on, which I think we should at this point, 3's the minimum, right? We've already brought in Alexis McAllister. We've already brought in Dominic Szoboszlai. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm over the moon with those signings. I think they're absolutely spot on. Now, the question is, can we replace a Fabinho and a Henderson with somebody like a Lavia? You're probably running a little bit of a risk, right? You're setting yourself up for the long term. No question about that. Romeo Lavia looks like a top kid. But you can't just gloss over the loss of experience, having no Fabinho, having no Jordan Henderson. Yes, Thiago Alcantara will still be at the club, unless, of course, Barcelona come in with an offer that Liverpool deem acceptable. But right now, I do feel like 4 is what we need to do if we lose the 2. And I'd love to know your thoughts on who you think the 4th should be. Because I really feel Lavia is likely. Now, I'll talk about Luis. I'll talk about other players as well tonight. But I want to know who you think for the 4th. Would you like a Kefren Thuram? Would you like somebody with a bit more experience, perhaps? Or maybe a Manu Kone, Nicolo Barella, something like that. Zarug, welcome to Anfield Agenda Ultras. Connor said Lavia and Amrabat. So, okay, I'm going to be really honest about Amrabat, right? Really honest. I'm too scared to commit to wanting Amrabat because I know he's still linked to Manchester United. That's the honest truth on that one. I'm too much of a coward. Because if I go in and go, yeah, Amrabat, go on Amrabat, big up Amrabat, and then he ends up at United. Alex Scott is a good shout for the future, but again, I think too young. And there's been a 20 million quid bid turned down for him, if I'm not mistaken. I don't even remember who the club was. Maybe it was Burnley that put that bid in. Lavia or no, said LFC Broxies. So from my information, Lavia will progress once Fabinho's gone. But things can change. So I'm not going all in and say Lavia is going to be a Liverpool player. Because there is a very valid argument, my friends, to say that we need experience in there. And if we go into the season, let's look at the holding position. And we've got Bojcetic, we've got Thiago Alcantara and Lavia. There's not that much experience there. You know, Thiago can do bits, but he's not a natural 6 in the sense of the word we think of Fabinho. So, oh man, I don't know. I really would love to be inside Jurgen's head at the minute. Jermaine, my man, thank you for joining Anfield Agenda FC again. Adrian, thank you for upgrading to Anfield Agenda Ultras. Ben Doak is cooking this season. Ian, I'm so glad you brought that up, my man. I'm so glad. Mark upgraded as well to Ultras. Thank you, Mark. Gemma Bourne, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC. Panda Paws, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC as well. So I'm sorry, I'm a bit emotional. Honestly, I am. I'm a bit emotional, but this is yeah, this is special. It feels so nice to be home. Do you read this? Well, Marvin, I just have, sir. I just have. So, I'm Ben Doak. Glad you brought it up, Ian, because he's really highly thought of at the club. Really, really highly thought of. But is it fair for us as fans to put that undue pressure on him? You know, undue pressure on him coming in to, you know, be that long-term Mo Salah replacement. I'm honestly, I'm getting emotional here looking at all these comments. Forgot to welcome, he said, Kay. My apologies, my friend, but welcome. And sorry, I forgot. You know, it's moving quick tonight. I'm still playing catch up, but I apologise, mate. You're right. I should have welcomed you. Davino, welcome in, buddy. Michaela Drury, welcome into you as well. Appreciate both of your support. Colwell, there's a good question from Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim, from soil he did crawl. Earthworm Jim. I remember that cartoon, dude. I am old enough to remember Earthworm Jim. And Nomad, thank you as well for joining Anfield Agenda Ultras. Anyway, back to Earthworm Jim's comment on Colwell. The situation on Colwell that I'm aware of is as follows. If Chelsea show any indication of a willingness to sell Levi Colwell, Liverpool will be at the front of that queue. You can bet your bottom dollar on that one. I just don't know where we stand with regards to the possibility of him being sold. You know, Chelsea aren't going to want to sell him. That's understandable. But he's the one. He's the one. And I would spend 60 million on Colwell if I was Liverpool at a push. Davino Carl, hey, first super chat back on YouTube, love that. Jake 120HZ said, please don't get Phillips Klopp. I think I've got good news for you on that front. From my understanding, buddy, there's no intention to get him. And do you know what worries me about Phillips? It's not just that he's been at Manchester City and not played much, but he's got an injury track record, and we don't need to bring in more injury-prone players. Look, I'm going to say something now that's the shithouse in me coming out. But you know me, I'm me. Did anybody else have a little wry smile earlier on when they seen that Naby Keita's out for several weeks with an abductor injury? No. Naby injured, you say? Well, colour me shocked. Naby Keita injured. Who would have thought we would have seen the day? But yes, he's out already. Aaron Garza said, would rather Doak playing and developing now. Yes, but you don't want to put the pressure on him, Aaron. So I think in a weird way, dude, the fact that Liverpool are in the Europa League now could actually benefit those players some more. The players who, you know, might not have got Champions League minutes. So I think you'll see Ben Doak get minutes in the Europa League group stages. I think you'll see other breakthrough players get minutes as well. Now, today, actually, Calvin Ramsey completed his move on the formalities of his loan to Preston North End for the season. So wish Calvin all the best, and hopefully he comes back after having a good season under his belt. Curtis Jones going to be cooking this season. Yeah, look, I owe Curtis Jones a big apology. Not going to lie about it. I had written Curtis Jones off completely, 100%. Didn't think there was any way back for him. But that's why I'm not the manager. And that's why Jurgen is. But you know what I'm not afraid to do is put my hands up and say, look, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. And he's been brilliant. Brilliant. Now, on that, himself and Harvey Elliott will be back next week for pre-season training. Obviously, they got a bit of a longer break after winning the Euros with the England under-21, so they'll be back. Nightwolf, thank you, my friend, for joining Anfield Agenda FC. Really appreciate your support. Use the younger players for the Europa League. There's definitely something in that, Pat, right? Pat Butcher, I love the name. There's definitely something in that, mate. There definitely is. Because we're not going to get a chance like this again to bring the young lads through, because we're going to be Champions League. Now, question number one for you guys. Am I the only one in my head who's already seen us win the Europa League? Because I've in my head, we're already in Dublin, in the final, winning it, and in pot one next year in the Champions League after that. So I can't be the only one that's that arrogantly confident. Still not sure about Curtis Jones, said Barry Godfrey. Well, I mean, look, Barry, you're absolutely within your rights to be cautious, because, you know, one swallow a summer does not make. So we need to make sure that Curtis Jones can keep up this. But to be fair to Curtis, he carried that form on to the Euros, and I think he's done himself no harm. Let's say that. Why not get Pavard for 20 million and move Trent to midfield? Pavard can play centre back. So I've seen this spoken about, and I've seen Pavard linked to Manchester City actually. But the reason is Liverpool mustn't just feel he's good enough. I know that sounds mad, he's a World Cup winner, but I don't know what Trent's future is. Like, is Trent's future going to be this hybrid role continuously, or is Trent going to move fully into midfield? At the moment, I'm more excited about preseason than I have been for a really, really long time, because there's so many possibilities for us this summer in preseason. Which way are we going to set up? Is Trent going to be in midfield? Are we going to get to see Szoboszlai McAllister from the get-go? Right, I think somebody said I missed the super chat. Let me scroll back up. Or maybe I haven't gotten to it yet. Hang on. This is moving quick, dudes. You know, I'm trying my best to keep up. Someone said I missed the super chat. I'm scrolling back up, scrolling back up. Right, Night Wolf. I don't think I did miss one, mate. I think I've read them out. GDem said, I do think the hybrid role, hope it doesn't get figured out. That was my concern at the end of last season. So, if I'm not mistaken, we played 5 or 6 matches with Trent in that hybrid role. And the final 2, Southampton and the game before that, I did feel, was a Villa before that? I did feel like we were exploited in that place, in that right-hand side. But, again, I don't know if that was like end of season vibes or if it was that we were figured out. But, look, either way, I'm buzzing. Like, I know we've got a shit show at the minute. I know we've got the Fabinho and the Hendo situation, and I know we've got to figure it out. But I'm optimistic as hell going into next season. Really, really, I'm so optimistic. XX Spider, thank you, buddy, for subscribing, and welcome to Anfield Agenda FC as well. Appreciate you. Craig, put a cooldown next stream to the chat. I don't know what that means. A cooldown next stream? You mean slow down? I don't know. I'm loving this. I feel like I'm back home. Like, I really feel proud to be here with you all tonight. Now, while I have you, just a reminder, we are live in Dublin, the first ever Anfield Agenda live show. You can get your tickets at thesugarclub.com. August bank holiday weekend, Friday the 4th. Myself, you guys, in person for a once-off show. Hope you can come along. If this works, we're planning on going to Cardiff next for the next one. The link in the description. Buy your tickets if you want to come along. Somebody will be leaving that night with 2 tickets to see Liverpool Everton in October, 1 night's accommodation in a city centre Liverpool hotel, and your choice of any 2 of this season's shirts. And that's thanks to our amazing sponsors, oosh.com. So yeah, come along on the night and you could be that person that leaves with the tickets to the derby. Michael Starbuck, thank you so much, buddy, for joining Anfield Agenda Ultras. Craig the GOAT, how would you feel if Liverpool signed Camavinga? Jill, I would be cock-a-hoop, I think is the phrase. Do you know, I wasn't somebody who fully appreciated Camavinga, Jill, until I watched him play for France against Ireland. And then I realised what that dude's all about, which is just quality. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. And Real Madrid are frightening, aren't they, with that midfield that they've got. Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Valverde, you know, Toni Kroos, Luka Modric. Like, that is... And a young flip with the name of Bellingham, you might not have heard of him. I certainly haven't spoken much about him. Ryan, Bastoni would be perfect for us, I think. Thank you for the super chat, Ryan. Loads of people, dude, have thrown Bastoni's name around as one that could be workable for Liverpool. I've not seen it mentioned, though, or certainly by any journalist or anything I've spoken to. Sign Pavard, Craig. I wish I had control of the transfers, mate. Do you know what? I don't. We'd be broke in a week if I was in charge. Craig, you missed my subscription, said Lloydie. Apologies, Lloydie. Let me just check which one is your logo. Mate, there's so many here, so I do apologise. But Lloydie, thank you for subbing, sir. Appreciate you. Or for becoming a member, I should say. My birthday is the derby on the 21st. Can't afford the tickets. Well, don't know what to say, dude. You'll have to watch it on TV like me, I guess. Ryan, thank you, buddy. Ryan Ryu 007. Welcome to Anfield Agenda FC. Appreciate you. Bastoni's going to sign a new contract to Josh. You should go on Love Island, Craig. I take up the whole island. That'll be the problem. They'd be like, is there no room for the rest of them? And also, there'll be no food left because I'd be buffet boy in there taking all the good stuff. Craig, if we don't get another attacking player, who's our replacement for Salah while he's at the AFCON? Szoboszlai is the short answer, mate. You know, that was one of the bonuses about Liverpool being able to bring in Dominic Szoboszlai, is that we have him for the right side of midfield, but he can also play, as I'm sure you're aware, on the right side of attack. Elliott can do that, Doe can do that, and it's only a month, so I don't think we should be looking to sign somebody for a month. But I do understand your concern, and yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the backside, isn't it, with the old AFCON. You know, it was a winter tournament, then it became a summer tournament, now it's back to a winter tournament. Craig, you should do member exclusive streams. Joey, we probably will. The reason why we haven't committed to it from the start, mate, is we didn't know if we were going to have 2 members, 100 members, you know. I wanted to make sure that we had enough people that could justify it for you guys. But it's definitely on the cards, my friend. I promise you that. Harvey Elliott as well, said someone. Adam's World, is Man City still in for Gvardiol? That's a really good question, Adam. So everything I'd been told suggested, unfortunately, that Josko Gvardiol would go on to become a Manchester City player. And I believe that's still the case, but you are right. It is taking a little bit longer than I would have thought. And it's a crying shame because, look, I want Gvardiol. I would have loved Josko Gvardiol. But we can't afford him, you know. And nor, not to be fair as well, I don't think we need to be spending like 80-odd million pound on a centre-back at this point. Yeah, at the Sugar Club pointage. Damn right, Jerome. And do you know what I'll be doing after as well, Jerome, if you're there? We'll be popping down to just mix and have a drink with you guys afterwards. It's not going to be one of these come to the live show and I slip out the back door. Nah, that's not me, dude. I'll be down thanking you all for being there and making Connor open the wallet, blow his cobwebs off it, because I know that fucker still has his communion money. I know he does. Right, I'm going to run through some of my notes and start off. There was a letter from Phil Dutton today, the club's Vice President of Ticketing and Hospitality, and this was with regards to the Anfield Road end and the extension. So let me read it out to you on an update, just in case you're waiting to be able to buy tickets for the opening games. Here's what he had to say. We were planning to inform you today the outcome of the members' ticket ballot for the first half of the season. We've decided to postpone those results and the ticket sale itself for a few more weeks while work continues on our fantastic Anfield Road stand. To avoid any potential disruption to you, we wanted to wait until we have confirmation of the total stand capacity from Liverpool City Council's licensing team. The ballot results will now be published on Monday, 31st of July 2023, with full member sales starting from Tuesday, 8th of August. Everybody connected to the club is so excited to see and hear the difference this new stand will make next season, but we are taking a prudent approach and will be following this thorough process with our colleagues at Liverpool City Council. Safety is always our priority. As with many other stadium builds that involves thousands of people, we have test events planned for next month, which should receive a licence for Liverpool City Council to operate the new stand and confirm the total capacity. We hope that you agree that postponing the sale and waiting until we have more certainty as is the best interests of the supporters. Thanks for your continued support. So just in case you were one of those people looking to get into the ballot, that's why it's been delayed, or why the announcements have been delayed. Kieran Mullen, thank you, buddy, for joining Anfield Agenda FC. I'm just scrolling back up to see if there was any other ones I missed. No, I think I'm good on that one. Camavinga or Tchouaméni, said Liverpool lover. I'd take Camavinga over Tchouaméni, but I don't think we're getting either of them, in all honesty. You're doing your lives on YouTube now, MCC. Yes, sir, we are right back on YouTube. Everything will be on YouTube at this point. Watch-alongs, news shows, match reactions, shorts, everything. Maybe even a little podcast along the way, you never know. Thoughts on Decore? I knew a lot of you guys were going to be asking me about Decore tonight, so of course I do have my notes ready. Thoughts are that he's somebody for myself that's gone under the radar. I cannot say here with a clear conscience and say to you good people that I've watched much of Decore. I haven't. But I will say what I always say. I'm happy if Klopp's happy. If Jurgen Klopp wants the core A, I'm happy. If Jurgen Klopp wants Barella, I'm happy. I just want the manager to get his targets. That's all I've ever wanted as a fan. So, do I understand that maybe we're sidestepping a little bit to wait and see what happens, to wait and see what the market shows? It's a tricky one. Do you guys feel like Klopp's been sideswiped by Jordan Henderson? Because I told the chat in Discord a few weeks ago to expect an offer from Al Ittihad, for Fabinho, because Nuno was his coach that brought him to Rio Ave. I think it was the first club that Fabinho played for in Europe. So I knew that interest was coming. I didn't know what the number was going to be, but 40 million I feel is a very fair number in all honesty. But the Hendo one, I think Hendo sideswiped the manager here. I think Hendo, you can understand the play inside. Like, he could have went to Jurgen and said, Gaffer, what's the story with minutes this season? How am I fixed? And he would have probably been told minutes are going to be managed, minutes are going to be less than previous. But he should have known that. We all knew that was going to be the case. And then you see Hendo come back in supreme physical condition, and he looks absolutely amazing. But then the interest comes from Saudi, right? And first of all, I was reading that there was going to be a 50% increase on his wages. And I thought, nah, you're not going to leave to go to Saudi Arabia for 50% on your wages. But then that number got significantly higher, right? And we're talking 700 Gs. And that's where I think Henderson just said, look, Gaffer, if the move's on, I want to move. So do you think that the Gaffer's annoyed about it? I think he has to be, right? Carl, thank you for the super chat, mate, or the super sticker, I should say. Lloydie said, what's your prediction next season? We will cook. Well, Lloydie, firstly, thank you for the super chat, mate. Much appreciated. What's my prediction? Can I be really bold and say I think we're going to be in a title race? I know, I'm deluded. You know I'm deluded. That's not breaking news. You won't see that going across the bottom of Sky Sports News in yellow writing. I think we're going to be in a title race. I think we're winning the Europa League. And I think, well, do you know what? I don't really care about the domestic cups too much. It's one of those things, if you can get deep into one of them, brilliant. But I'm not too fussed. You know, I'm one of those people that likes the domestic cups when we're in the semis and quarters. But until then, I just want the two big ones. I want the European competition and I want the Champions League. Now, or excuse me, not the Champions League. I want to qualify for the Champions League and try and win the Premier League. I've been working long and hard on my top six, but it's so hard to really give you guys a top six without knowing the business everybody has done. So if you look at Arsenal right now, the money that they've spent, over 200 million on Declan Rice, on Urian Timber, on Kai Havertz, and potentially on Lavia if they get the chance, like, that's some good business. Whatever way we say, and if you think they've overpaid, fair enough, but none of us can argue that putting Declan Rice in their midfield hasn't improved their midfield. It definitely has. None of us can argue that Mason Mount going to Manchester United won't improve Manchester United. Now, I don't think he's going to do as well as maybe some expect, but I do think he will strengthen them, and I think he'll be a good addition. You're looking around Spurs, they could lose Harry Kane. They've still got Son there. Chelsea, I think, are going to surprise us. I do think Chelsea will surprise us this season. And if I'm putting a candidate out there to struggle, I'm going to say Newcastle. And I'm not being lazy by saying Newcastle. I just don't know if they have a big enough squad to cope with the rigours of now Champions League football on top of the Premier League. I think that might bite them in the backside a little bit. And I think they could pick up some injuries that might cause them trouble. 2,500 in the live chat. Wow. I don't know what I have done to deserve this, but I love you all deeply for it. Look, one thing, if you're new to Anfield Agenda, that you got to know about our community is we're all about being upbeat. We're all about positivity. We're all about inclusivity. We're all about having a good time and enjoying ourselves and being kind to each other. So far, thank you. Everybody in the chat has been amazing. The vibes have been top notch. I love it. I love it. I love seeing people moving in the same direction. I love seeing this community come together, because you know what? WFM. Let's get that chat filled up with WFM. If you don't know what it is, bear with me. I will talk you through it. The Dugout. Douglas, thank you. Welcome to see you back, mate. Thank you for joining the Anfield Agenda FC. Moise, much appreciation, buddy, as well, joining Anfield Agenda Ultras. Welcome in. What's the story with Thuram? Truthfully, I don't really know. I don't know, because I feel like we've done him dirty a little bit, if I'm being really honest with you. Like, we tickled his nuts and then we've kind of said to him, now that's the end of it. I wonder, will we go back in? I wonder, because I was excited by the prospect of Thuram. But I'm also excited by the prospect of maybe somebody we haven't spoken about. And it can't be just me who's seen that Melissa Reddy post on Sky Sports News, where she said that Liverpool love a stealth signing. We really do. And I love a stealth signing. So nothing would make me happier than a name coming along that we all go, oh yeah, and we haven't spoken about. So, yeah, I think there's lots to come. Right, here's a name that we haven't spoken about in, must be a year, because it's been a year since we've been on here. But caught offside today have said Liverpool are interested in Jeremy Doku. Now, Jeremy Doku has had a long history of being linked to Liverpool Football Club. I think he was even close to a move, and legend has it that Anderlecht at the time got Romelu Lukaku to have a little word in his ear to tell him to stay put before he moved on to France, obviously, and not join Liverpool. But Liverpool have constantly tracked Jeremy Doku over the years. Now, obviously, at the minute, Aston Villa are being linked as well. And they've done very good business. But this particular article said Liverpool are among the clubs interested in Ron winger Jeremy Doku. That's according to Caught Offside, who claimed that Aston Villa are also in the hunt to sign the attacker. Their quest hinges on Unai Emery's pursuit of Bayer Leverkusen's Moussa Diaby. Liverpool focus on defence and midfield despite their long-term appreciation. I don't see any rhyme or reason for us to sign Jeremy Doku. I don't think he's proved himself yet. Brads, thank you for the super chat, mate. Said, hey Craig, so glad to see you back on here. Missed your lives a lot over the year on YouTube. Nothing but love, man. Thank you so much. Let's bring on next season. Thank you, man. And you know what? I'm buzzing to be back. I'm struggling with the chat because I'm not used to it moving that fast. You know, on Twitch it was brilliant. We built up a great community, but it was a lot smaller. So to come back on here tonight and see the numbers, wow. I think I'm going to be shedding a couple of tears tonight. I'm not even joking, like. I couldn't sleep last night. It was a bag of nerves on this one because it means a lot to me to be back on here. It means a lot to me to have the team that we have at the minute. And it means a lot to me that you guys are here with us, man. Thank you so much. And I'm going to try to get through so many comments, as many as I can. I understand that I'm going to disappoint people, but I'm going to keep trying. Craig, if you were Klopp, who would you start as striker? Jota, Darwizi or Gakpo? I don't think you can take the jersey off Cody Gakpo at the minute. I think that Darwin getting the number 9 is going to be a massive buzz. I think that is going to give him confidence. And I think as the season goes on, we'll see him establish himself more. The thing is, Klopp spoke about the lack of counter-pressing and the lack of understanding of counter-pressing from Darwin. And that being a big problem as to why he's not started. So I don't know if he can show to Jurgen in pre-season that he's managed to do what the gaffer wants of him. But if not, I fully expect Cody Gakpo to start with the centre. On the left, I think there's a chance for competition. Like, I think Lucho still has a bit to prove. And I think that there's an opportunity for Darwin to maybe force himself in on the left as the season starts. But it's been a big change. Didn't know you'd gone. Thanks, mate. Glad you missed me. Live again. Thanks for the content. No need to thank me, John. It's always a pleasure, man. This is a two-way street. Craig, please answer this. How many goals will our front three score? Don't know who the front three will be, so it's hard to give you an answer as how many they'll score. And this isn't a cop-out answer, but I always say I don't really care who scores the goals. I want Liverpool to get the 3 points, and whether that's a 1-0 win or a 7-6 win, as long as we pick up the points, I'm happy. As long as we're winning, I don't mind who scores the goals. Right, Florentino Luis. This is a name that has excited many Liverpool fans, myself included, over the past 24, 48 hours. He's 23 years of age, he plays for Benfica, and he has a buyout clause of £103 million. Now, Neil Jones and other journalists have linked us with him and said that interest is sincere. But obviously, there'd have to be room for negotiation there because Liverpool aren't going to go in and drop £103 million, which is his buyout clause. So what do you think happens here? Do you think this is just a smokescreen? Or do you think there's interest there? Because, like, we ain't going to pay 103 million. Let's be frank about that one. Like, this is still FSG we're dealing with. Right, some memberships to say thank you to. Andrew Webb, thank you, mate. We've done old Devlin. We've done Andy. Connor612, I think we've done as well. Jen, we've done. Good. I'm still trying to make sure I don't miss out any. Thank you for the vibes. Super sticker, Adam. Very kind of you. Mad numbers in here tonight. It's because we're fucking massive, which is what WFM stands for, by the way. I know a lot of people see WFM and go, what on earth is this about? It's our community. It's our motto. It's our vibe together. This season, you can expect plenty of shenanigans, plenty of madness, plenty of over-the-top reactions, plenty of frustration, plenty of laughs, and hopefully some good times as well as we take on this journey together. Don Pre, thank you for joining Anfield Agenda FC. Barry, thank you for joining Anfield Agenda FC. Tig, welcome to Anfield Agenda Ultras, mate. Appreciate you. Florentina Louise would be a monster, said Jacobs Thomas. Connor said, I think we will get Lavia because the Saudi clubs are covering his fee. Pretty much. I said to you guys the other day when we were on Twitch that I think that's pretty much what Liverpool will look at here. They'll look at the money they're getting for Fabinho, which is £40 million. And I think although Southampton want about 50 million for Lavia, I think an offer of 40 from Liverpool is a fair offer and should be considered if it goes that route. Now, I can't tell you which club are going to put the offer in first, but what I can tell you is Lavia would choose Liverpool if he had an option of Liverpool or Arsenal. I'm very, very, very confident in my information on that one, but I can't tell you where Liverpool are at. I don't know if Liverpool were willing to sell Fabinho if Henderson was still there, but now that they could lose both, it could change again. It could change again. This is what makes it so crazy. Klopp is like Pat Mustard. Is to a toolbox. I don't know what that means, Adrian. I know who Pat Mustard is. Very Irish thing, that, but... How many assists for Trent? I don't know, my man. But look, can we say this about Trent? He showed up, right? He has showed up. Trent is looking lean, mean, and an assist and goal scoring machine. He looked brilliant. Whatever it is he's done in pre-season or over at that Under Armour Human Performance Center in Oregon, he looks legit. Like, he came back, and over summer, do you know what he reminds me of? You know when we're all in school, and we're in secondary school, we're about 13, 14 years of age, and you go away one summer, and you come back, and somebody has all of a sudden become a man. Somebody's sprouting a beard, or somebody's filled out and has got stocky over the summer. That's what Trent reminds me of. That kid who's come back ready for a new season, and is ripped. He looks like he's finally grown into a man's body. Craig, I really love you and your content. Just want to say thank you. You inspire me. Appreciate and idolise you. I'm 15 years of old. You make all the bad times much better. Thank you, man. But look, I've always said this is a dual street. I get back as much as you guys think I give in. I couldn't do what I do without you. I couldn't carry on from the trolling without good people like yourself who take the time to write kind words like that. So thank you. Right, let's talk about Hendo, because we need to get stuck into the captain. What are we going to do? Because, can I say this? I think I can say it. I might get in trouble. My understanding is he's about to get the nod to go and do the medical. That's my understanding. So I think we'll settle on a fee. But what I'm interested in is Liverpool have a valuation of Jordan Henderson at £20 million. Seems a bit steep, right? But what they've done is they've looked at Koulibaly and his move. Similar age, probably less of an impact on his team than Henderson would have on our team. So Liverpool have looked at that as a valuation. Now, obviously, El Ettifaq have come back and said they have £13 million or something like that. For me, I'd take it. And let me tell you why I'd take it. I don't see a way back for Henderson anymore. Because whatever happens, I would imagine if he stayed, he'd be stripped of the captaincy. But the saddest part about all of this for me and Jordan Henderson is it's not how it should end. It's not how he deserves it to end. He's made his own bed. He's his own man. He's made his own decision. But we're going to see somebody who has given the service he's given to our club, who's lifted the trophies he's lifted, kind of just go out the back door quietly. No fanfare, no big emotional farewells. And that just feels sad. It's his own doing, but it feels sad. We've seen the farewell Bobby got, deservedly. Henderson, it shouldn't end like this. It's so sad. But again, all I can say is he's made his own decision. And I got to be honest about it, guys. I got to be honest about it. I'm a little bit annoyed at Steven Gerrard. I am. I'm a bit annoyed at Stevie G coming back in to destabilise us. I don't get it. Maybe, I don't know, in a weird way, if Steven Gerrard thinks he's doing us a favour. I don't know, but I just feel disappointed. Welcome home, Craig. Great to see you on here again. James, you're very kind, my man. Thank you. We need a statement signing after losing out in Bellingham. Do you not think we've had one, though? Smooth. I would consider Dominic Szoboszlai a statement signing. Yeah. For me, I can't speak highly enough of Szoboszlai. And I go as far as to say what I've said again on Twitch. There were some thought processes at Manchester City that he could be the long-term De Bruyne replacement. I'm not making this up. There is articles written about it. And that's how highly I rate him. Now, I'm not saying Szoboszlai is going to come in and be a Kevin De Bruyne. But I feel that Szoboszlai and McAllister could become our Modric, our De Bruyne over the next few years. That's how highly I rate both of those signings. So I'm buzzing. And I would consider that a statement signing. And if you added in a defensive midfielder and somebody with a bit of experience on top of that, as well as, of course, a centre-back, I'm over the moon. Really, I think if you look at the calibre of our midfield, we're set there for 4, 5, 6 years. Once we get the business done that we need to get done. Sorry, I should have pointed that one out. Jota overrated? I don't think so, Owen. Like, it depends how you look at Jota. I look at Jota as a rotational player. Somebody who you can bring on if you need to change a game or need to grab a goal. And somebody who had a very good end of season. So I'm very happy that Jota is in our squad. I don't see him as a regular starter in all honesty, but he's a fox in the box and he just seems to have a knack of being in the right place at the right moment. Keshran, I think I said thank you to you. If I didn't, thank you to you for joining Anfield Agenda Ultras. His legacy is still intact. I mean, that's a personal choice, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to feel. You know, everybody will look at the Henderson situation differently. To me, his legacy's in tatters. To me. Because one of the things that put Jordan Henderson on the pedestal that he's on is, of course, everything he's achieved on the pitch. But him as a man, how he's led the football club. He's been an ally to the LGBTQ plus community. He's been somebody for inclusivity in the game. He's been somebody who spoke up in difficult moments, spoke up about FSG, spoke up about Qatar World Cup, spoke up about big things. And here's where I get annoyed at Henderson. You do these things, you get all the media publicity out of it, you get all the money and commercial partnerships that you've gotten out of it, because let's not kid ourselves. He has earned money from being this moral bastion of honesty, or whatever you want to phrase it. So now to see him very quickly do a U-turn and take the money, I feel like we've been a little bit conned. I do. I feel like we've been a little bit conned, and I expect better of our captain. Francesco asking for a shout out, and it was deleted, but too late. I've already given you the shout out. So there you go, Francesco. We win. Hendo not making a fuss. He showed up to training like the pro he is. I'll miss him, but he wants to go, and he shouldn't want players in their team that simply don't want to be here anymore. I agree with you on the latter part of that, Eddie, 100%. And I think Klopp's always said the same. If somebody doesn't want to be at Liverpool Football Club, and I think you can roll this out to most clubs, to be fair, United, City, whoever. If the manager and the club can get a fee that works for them, I don't think anybody is beyond being moved on. And that's the right way, I think. Because you want players who want to be at your club, right? You do. You want players who run through a brick wall for the manager. Craig, can we talk about the Dele Alli interview with Gary Neville? Incredible. Mate, Lloydie, I said this the other day on my stream on Twitch. I am so proud of Gary Neville, of Dele Alli, how that situation was handled. I can't believe what the poor young man went through. I hope he finds peace and happiness, and I hope that he can rebuild his career. But I have no doubt whatsoever that that courage shown by Dele Alli will help other people. And if nothing else comes from that really good interview, I hope that's it. Because that was a very, very tough thing for that young man to front up and speak about. So nothing but the height of love and respect for me from Dele Alli for that one. And I think there are a few people who've gone in on him. I'm looking at you, Simon Jordan, who probably have, you know, a couple of apologies maybe that they need to issue out there. So, yeah, really proud of him. Really proud that we're at a place as a society now where, you know, people can speak about these things. People can speak up and give inspiration and hope to others who are maybe suffering in silence. So yeah, well done to him, well done to Gary on how he conducted the interview. Just nothing but, you know, positivity from me on a obviously very difficult subject matter. And I can't imagine what he went through, but yeah, well done to him. He'll do a Bob Paisley and stick a beautiful gem like yourself in that number 6 role, said Adrian. Well, you don't want me in the 6th role, mate. Think of Jan Molby, but without any of the skill. Thoughts on Douglas Luiz, said Eth Rivs. So, when we were linked to Douglas Luiz in, I want to say it was the January market, I was on the fence, but now I don't want them. I don't want them. Like, I think he's a decent player, but nah, not now. Not for us. Craig, do you think Van Dijk should be the next captain if Henderson goes? And that's from Raven Madness. So I'm going to say no, but hear me out before you think I've lost the plot. The reason I'd say no to making Virgil van Dijk captain is because of his own words. He spoke about how he struggled to become the Netherlands captain and with the senior role he had at Liverpool and how that impacted him and took its toll on him. And at 32 years of age, I'd rather he just concentrate on football and doesn't have those pressures that he has already admitted took its toll on him. So for that reason only, I wouldn't consider him unless he wants to be considered. For me, Andy Robertson would be the first person I'd give the captain's armband to. Virgil is in that mix. Alisson is in the mix. My personal preference, I don't like a goalkeeper being the captain. Trent, of course, has to come into that mix. And Mohamed Salah should be in that conversation. He showed tremendous leadership at the end of last season with that very honest and forthright post about the disappointment suffered by Liverpool about not getting Champions League, and that's the minimum expected of them. So yeah, plenty of options there. I think we all have our own personal preference, but I love the idea of Robbo because, well, he's a shithouse, isn't he? And I love that. Keep off the nitro balloons. Me? Never had one in my life, mate. To be honest with you. I'm too dull and boring for anything edgy like that. I just talk quickly because I'm afraid the thoughts will leave my head. Couple of shouts for Robbo in the chat. Robbo for Kankiwi. Robbo and Mo, said David Gocky. Robbo said Justin Brown. Robertson or Mo Salah, said Access Sung. 100%, no problems with any of those. Mohamed Salah. See, I look at Robbo and Salah as two very different potential captains. You've got Andy Robertson, who'll get in the referee's ear, but will he annoy them? And then you've got Mohamed Salah, who may not be as confrontational as Andy Robertson, but would probably be on the good side of referees more than Andy Robertson. So, you know, either one has plenty of pros and cons to it, but again, we're lucky to have so many senior pros. Right, more stuff because I haven't gone through everything yet. Decore, we touched on it earlier on, But Football Insider have said that Liverpool are now exploring a move for Crystal Palace midfielder Czech Decore. The outlet claims the Reds are looking into a potential move as they draw up a list of targets with Jordan Henderson and Fabinho subject to interest from Saudi Arabia. They go on to speak about the fact that the 22-year-old has caught the eye this season of Anfield Chiefs, blah, 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 and that he signed for Crystal Palace from Lens for £21 million last summer. What are we saying? Is he good enough? Because I truly don't know. I'm not going to bullshit you. I don't know if he's good enough. I don't know if he's amazing. I can't say I've watched all that much of Palace. And when I have watched Palace, like everybody else, I've been looking at Elise, Eze, you know, the usual candidates. And a little bit of Mark A as well, because we've been linked with him for a while. Not the useless Amrabat. Useless? Wow, Jerry, that's a big shout on Amrabat. I've watched Amrabat quite a bit. I've watched them play for Fiorentina. I've watched them play for Morocco. And it's been 50-50 for me. Half the time I've looked and thought, yeah, good player there. Another time I've looked at it and gone, not so sure. The game's passed them by a little bit. And I'm also, as I said earlier on, I'm a little bit nervous of going fully in on the idea of him because he's linked to United as well. And I don't want to be the guy that has to go, yeah, I really want this guy, and then he's gone to United. So I'm a little bit of a pussy in that regard. Will you be doing Liverpool watch-alongs on YouTube? Absolutely, 100% yes. We are back home for good. Everything is on YouTube now. Match reactions, watch-alongs, news shows, pre-recorded content. I have a cracking interview lined up for Thursday. Shall I tell you who it is? I mean, half of you won't have a clue who it is, and the other half, well, I hope the other half care. So, over the years, I've built up a bit of a, I don't want to call it a friendship, but I've gotten to know Darren McAnthony a little bit, the Peterborough owner. We've exchanged emails. So he's going to be coming on Thursday for an interview. We're going to speak about the season ahead for Liverpool. You may or may not know this. Darren McAnthony owns Peterborough United, but he's also a massive Liverpool fan. He's had strong takes in the past on players who Liverpool should and shouldn't have signed. And I'm looking forward to catching up with Dara. So we'll record that on Thursday. I hope to have it out on Friday. But again, I want to say thank you to Darren McAnthony for giving up some of his time to come and have a chat with me. I appreciate it. So yeah, looking forward to that one. I like people who are like myself, who aren't backwards and coming forwards, who just say what's on their mind. That's why I'm mates with Lee Gunner. That's why I like Darren McAnthony. I like people who are outspoken. Match preview tomorrow. I don't think I can preview a friendly where I have no idea what to expect, but we are doing a watch along, so we will be doing the game on Wednesday. You can bet your bottom dollar on that one. But yeah, I don't know about a preview because I don't know how to preview it, is the honest answer. Do you think we would have to bring in a right back? Depends. It depends. Like, if we don't sell Matip and we bring in another centre back, then I think we're okay. Because we know Joe Gomez can cover at right back, excuse me. We know Connor Bradley can do a job there, albeit he could well go out on loan yet, I'm not sure. Calvin Ramsey, that loan to Preston has been confirmed today, so Calvin's gone there for the season. So I think we've options. And I don't think it's a priority for right back. I don't. But I also can understand 100% how people want that side covered and given a little bit more. On the left side, I think we've got a problem. You know, we've got Andy Robertson at left back, and then we've got Verge left side of centre back, and not much cover there for him. So I think that's where we need to bring somebody in, not just for cover for Verge, but to give him competition. Because I don't care who you are, Virgil van Dijk, Mohamed Salah, you need competition. You need somebody putting pressure on you. And as tough as it is to put pressure on two of the world's best, you still need that cover. Did you have any problems with Twitch? No, it was a really enjoyable experience over on Twitch. Yeah, I can only speak very highly of the year that we had over there. So for those who aren't aware, a year ago Twitch approached us and basically they bought the rights to our live streaming for a year. And that year ended at the end of June. That was the end of that deal. So we were always going to come back to YouTube. But I can't but speak highly of the time we spent on Twitch. It was a lovely platform. We met some really nice people. But this feels right. This, like, tonight, seeing the numbers, wow. You guys showed up. You showed up, and I love you for it. Thank you. Right, Nat Phillips, the old legend that he is, and he will be a legend to me. Look, I say legend. Cult legend. Let's go with that one. It looks like he's closing in on that move that we spoke about to Leeds. Some reports have said that there's an agreement now in place and that he can go and have his medical. And I think this is a match made in heaven. I think Leeds fans will absolutely love Nat Phillips. I think he'll suit Leeds down to the ground. And I think the dude deserves to go and play football as well. Whatever happens, we'll always have the San Siro. We'll always have him sending Zlatan to the shop for a pint of milk while doing a little turn in the penalty area. It's just amazing. So yeah, for Nat, so happy for him that he gets to go play football. And I think he's joining a good club there in Leeds who will take to him very well. Thank God it's Nat, not Calvin in the news. Is there anybody out there who wants Calvin Phillips at Liverpool? Because I do not. I don't. And even if he took out of the equation and he was at Leeds to come to Liverpool, still wouldn't want them. I don't want them. It's that simple. I just don't. Does Chelsea reported Liverpool for speaking to Colwell? So I think your question is, should Chelsea report Liverpool for tapping up Colwell? Well, firstly, I don't know that Liverpool have spoken to Colwell directly. I certainly imagine we will have spoken to his agent. But I also think that we're naive, right? Players talk to clubs all the time, whether we want to admit that as grown-ass people or not. But he's a Chelsea player. We have to respect that. And if Chelsea decide he's not for sale, he's got 2 years to run on his current Chelsea deal. And if Pochettino sees him as part of his plans, that's tough shit for us. But if there's any indication that Chelsea are willing sellers, I think we should be top of that queue. What about Tyler Adams? Not convinced. I've got to be honest, I'm not convinced on Tyler Adams. He's alright. Maybe just a bit better than alright, but I can't see him as a Fabinho replacement. I can't. I think we need somebody physically bigger to fill that role. Yeah, sorry, not for me. But I do understand there's a lot of people from the States who think I'm underrating him. And again, that's possible. Absolutely. Craig, my fellow Irishman, thank you. Astero, Sumo, appreciate you. Can you and Michael Manning and Vici, aka Mace, please? Can you mod Michael Manning? Where's Michael Manning? I need a comment from him. And the Vici. Oh, there's the Vici one. There, we can do that. Okay, so there's the Vici account is done. So I need Michael Manning to comment next, and then I will get him sorted. What do you think about Kessie from Barca for 30 million? Well, see, what I don't get about Kessie is we could have had Kessie for free when he was leaving. So why go and spend money on him now? So no, it'll be a no for me on Kessie. Kimmich is an interesting one, and I wouldn't be against it, but I've not seen any sincere links, Sandu, to Joshua Kimmich. Florentino Luis, yeah, that's been... Neil Jones has said Liverpool have sincere interest in Fiorentino Luis. My only problem there is the fee. You're not going to pay the release clause of £103 million. So if they're willing to do a deal at Benfica, maybe. How many mods is there on here? I've no idea, but we're going to build them up and up and up because the chat needs to be right. We've been like this since day one. We care about how the chat is, so we make sure that we moderate it as best we can. Amrabat, right. Before we finish up tonight, because we are getting towards the hour mark. Sophie and Amrabat, yes or no? What are you saying? Would you buy him for £25 million? I've already modded Michael. You don't need to worry about that. It's done. And again, one more shout. I'm going to leave this up for the remainder of the stream. If you want to come and see us, it is what? Just 2.5 weeks away now in Dublin at the Sugar Club. Beautiful venue. First ever live show. Get your tickets in the link of this stream. You will find the description. In the description, you'll find the link. Get yourselves along. Sugar Club in Dublin, August 4th, Bank Holiday weekend. I cannot wait. We're going to come down and meet you all afterwards. Have a drink with you as well. Oh, God, a bit of a mixed bag here with regards to Amrabat. Some yeses, some no's. James said yes. Football Moment said nah. Ali New said nah. Maddie Belshaw said nah. Nixie Boom said shame the Ugarte ship sail. Definitely, mate. There was a lot of us who would have loved Manuel Ugarte. Nick, great to see you back on YouTube. Thank you so much, Nick. Appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat, mate. You're really, really kind. Right. It's been an emotional return tonight, my friends. And I'm going to record a video with all the transfer news that will be going out tomorrow morning. So I hope you can catch it, because I know you guys have gotten used to us putting out videos at about 8:30 every night. What we'll do now is the live shows every night, and the videos will come out then the next day. So again, once more, thank you for everything that you've done for me, for my family, for my team. You're unbelievable. You are the best community on YouTube, bar none, and I owe you guys everything. So I will keep trying my best to do you proud, and I appreciate all of your support. So much love to you all. I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Great to be back. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button before you head off if you haven't done so. Thank you to my moderators, thank you to our team, and most importantly, thank you for your continued support. I will chat to you tomorrow.